excited to talk to you guys about chapter 4. We are halfway done with the book, and I'm really, really proud of your commitment to your personal growth and development. Specifically, that you guys are committed to equipping yourself to be in a growth mindset. And we're in our book, Mindset, by Carol S. Dweck, and chapter 4 is titled Sports, the Mindset of a Champion. And I loved this chapter. I feel like it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter where you came from, what your age or what your background is. So often people can find common ground with sports. And that is why I love this chapter. All of us in here, we either played sports, we know someone who has played sports, we have a child that's played sports, or at the very least, we have watched sports before. And I know that there's no one on this call that hasn't heard of Muhammad Ali or Tiger Woods. And you guys, we hear terminology like, oh, she's such a good sport, or don't be a bad sport, all throughout our lives, don't we? And we're all business owners in here. We're all Plexus ambassadors. And we are seeking this growth mindset. And this chapter has so much that all of us can relate to, even if we are not training to be Olympic athletes. Although we do have one person on Team Eichenhorst that is actually training to be an Olympic athlete. I don't know if you guys knew that. We have an Olympic gold medalist on our team, and she is trying to get back to the Olympics. So that is a huge shout out to Laura Holzman over there. But that is not me. I can't even do a cartwheel, and I am not fast. I can just run far really, really, really slow. And so, but even though I am not training to be an athlete of any kind at all, it is important to me that I keep my mind sharp and that I am in the mindset of having a growth mindset, okay? So she opens up the chapter and she talks about that in sports, this is where we get the idea of someone being a natural, okay? So this is basically the idea in sports that you have this whole package and that people are good really without trying. And they've got the natural ability. Maybe they're just naturally fast. Maybe they have the physique for their certain sport, right? Like they're really tall if they're a basketball player. And we see the story of Billy Beane, okay? This was someone who was a natural. This is someone who everyone thought was going to be the next Babe Ruth. But he lacked one thing, and that was the mindset of a champion. In fact, in the book, you guys, it says that it wasn't merely that he didn't like to fail, it was as if he didn't know how to fail. Okay, because Billy was naturally gifted, he was of the mindset that natural talent really didn't need effort. And natural talent definitely did not ask for help. He really thought, and his mindset, you guys, was so bad that the very idea of having any sort of deficiency was terrifying to him. And so the book says that he was actually trapped, and he was trapped by his huge talent. So have you guys ever known anyone like that? Now I want you guys to think about yourself. When was the last time that you failed at something? Really think about that. When was the last time that you truly asked for help? Like with something significant, not like, hey son, will you go wash the dishes? But like when you've truly needed help and you've asked for it. When was the last time that you actually pushed past the fear of a deficiency that you might have in your skills or in your skill set. And like, let's look at this with business, okay? What is it that you're avoiding in your business? What is it that you're not doing that you know that you probably need to do? The reason that you're probably not doing it is because you probably feel like you have a deficiency in that area, right? Like you're not good at it. You're not skilled enough. You're not equipped enough. And so when was the last time that you actually pushed past that fear? And you guys, it can be scary, but if we are in the growth mindset, then you are not trapped. But if you have a fixed mindset, then you are, just like Billy was. And you're gonna have a really hard time moving forward, okay? So in the book, we see Billy being the ball player, having a really fixed mindset and not being able to experience success in his growth, in his area of expertise, which he was a natural. He was a natural at baseball, but he wasn't as successful as he could be because of his fixed mindset. But he did end up growing into becoming this very successful major league executive because he had played alongside of another baseball player and he watched him in awe, you guys. And this guy that he played alongside of, he didn't have a fraction of Billy's physical endowment or his natural ability. But what Billy said was that he watched him in awe because he had no concept of failure. And that was when Billy realized that mindset was more important than natural talent. And he became a manager to the Oakland A's, and he ended up leading his team to a season of 103 victories, which is a huge deal in baseball. I'm a big baseball fan. That's a big deal. And they said that he had I think it was the second lowest paid roster in all of baseball. And he did that because he recruited for mindset instead of recruiting for that natural talent, okay? That is super encouraging to me. Do you want to know why? I'm not fishing here. I'm not fishing for compliments, but I'm going to tell y'all, I really don't have a lot of natural talent. Like I sit back and I look at people in awe and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so athletic. They sing so well. They're so artistic. And I look at that and I'm like, and then I look at the people that are all of those things. I'm like, oh really? Your genetics are amazing. Oh, and look at that. You're awesome at sports. Oh, and of course you can sing too, right? Like, doesn't it kind of seem like some people like get all the natural talent? But you know what, you guys? That doesn't matter to me in my life. When I was in school, things did not come easy for me in school. They weren't hard. I didn't struggle. I didn't have learning disabilities or anything like that so many people do struggle with. But I was just your average kid, okay? But I was your average kid making all A's. I was your average kid who was class president and National Honor Society president. I was your, going to Baylor University, getting scholarships. I was just average. I had to work. Things were hard for me. They didn't come easily, but it was that grit and determination. And it didn't matter that it wasn't natural to me. I knew I could outwork the smartest person, right? It's that grit and that tenacity. And so that is so encouraging to me, who I feel like I don't have a lot of natural talent, okay? And we see it in this book too. We see several examples of people who were not naturals, but they became the best of the best, didn't they? We see Muhammad Ali. We see Michael Jordan. And don't y'all love that Michael Jordan quote? I feel like it follows me around. I've read it several times where it talks about how many times he, has taken the shot and how many times it's depended on him to take the game-winning shot. I'm not sure what page it's on, but anyway, I love that quote. And it just talks about how he just had to work so hard. Babe Ruth. And so Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, Babe Ruth, those are just a few. And as we read their stories in this book, there were a few common themes that ran throughout each of their lives, okay? Two jumped out at me. in this chapter. And the first one was mindset. And the second one was discipline. So it talks about in the book that Michael Jordan was cut from the varsity team and he was devastated. But his mama told him to go back and discipline himself. And he listened to her. And we see that he practiced harder than anyone else. The other, mindset. They share the story of Jackie Joyner-Kersee, who earned her last two awards. I think it was maybe in the Olympics, but her last two award medals when she had an asthma attack and a painful hamstring injury. And it said in the book that it wasn't her natural talent taking for her. She was having an asthma attack and she was in pain. It was her mindset that was having its say. Okay, so discipline and mindset. So here's my question for you tonight that I want you to reflect on. Are you even allowing yourself to get to a place in your business where you require discipline and mindset? Like, are you even in a place where you're even close enough to where you're like, oh, it would take some discipline for me to do that? Or I really need to get my mindset right before I can do that. Or are you just stuck with your toes, like barely in the water month after month? Are you just dabbling? Are you just doing what's comfortable? Are you just doing what's easy? Are you just doing the things in your business that may become natural to you, but you're never pushing past that, line in the sand, right? Like you're never taking that next step forward to where it requires you to have discipline and mindset. There are a lot of areas in my life, you guys, where I can say that I sit in that comfort zone, in that area where, no, it doesn't require me to have discipline and mindset. There have been times in my spiritual life, right, where I'm just I'm going to church on Sundays and I'm doing my Bible study on Wednesdays, or maybe I'm doing my Bible study the night before my Bible study and I'm doing it more as like a box check, right? So I can go and participate, but I'm not disciplining myself every single day to get in the Word, to spend time with the Lord, to have quiet time with Him, right? I'm just kind of in my comfort zone, going along, doing my thing. It's not hurting anyone. No one really knows anyway. I mean, God knows, but I'm just doing my thing. Where are you in your life just kind of coasting along, doing the minimum that it takes? I want you guys to push past that. You can push past that. And I don't want you guys to think for a second that I have not had to do some serious work on my mindset. Just like probably every person on this call, I have had negativity spoken over me. I have felt inadequate. I have felt incapable, but I got to work, you guys. I got to work on myself. I dug deep into God's Word to discover who He says that I am. And then I made a choice to believe Him, to take Him at His word, and to step into that. I don't want you guys to think for a second that I have not had to do some serious work on myself to have discipline in my life. And then it lasts for like a hot minute, right? Like, I mean, I'm not the only one, right? I'm super disciplined for 5 whole days. I'm a rock star. And then everything falls apart, right? And then it feels like we're starting over and we're starting over and we're starting over. But that is what discipline is. And when I was building my Plexus business and I was working and my kids were so much younger and we're just, it took discipline for me to every day make a choice and say, I am going to sacrifice something, time, sleep, energy, something, so that I can achieve this goal. It was worth it. It's still worth it today. I still have to practice discipline to work in my business, to keep my business growing, to invest in you guys, to keep my leadership lid raised high, to stay sharp, to stay in tune with what's going on in our industry and in this business. That requires discipline. Okay, if you guys have your book handy, I want to read something to you at the top of page 90. I underline this, and it says, it says, perhaps it's because, as Malcolm Gladwell suggests, people prize natural endowment over earned ability. As much as our culture talks about individual effort and self-improvement, deep down, he argues, we revere the naturals. We like to think of our champions and idols as superheroes who were born different from us. We don't like to think of them as relatively ordinary people who made themselves extraordinary. Why not? To me, that is so much more amazing. Ordinary people who made themselves extraordinary. Why not? I think I know why not. Why not? Because that means I too can be extraordinary, but I just have to get to work. And I have to look inward and say, am I willing to do the work? Are you willing to do the work? How does it make you feel knowing that if you get in there and you do the work, that you can achieve your goals in this business? Okay, let's see. I was going to read y'all something else. Okay, I want you guys to look. The next thing that they talk about in this book is character. And we see that contrast with the Red Sox and the Yankees, which I remember that. I so remember this series that they were talking about. Like I said, I do love baseball. And we see here on page 93, and they talk about Pedro Martinez. Okay, so this is like the first full paragraph. It says, like Billy Beane, Pedro Martinez did not know how to tolerate frustration, did not know how to dig down and turn an important setback into an important win. Nor, like Billy Beane, could he admit his faults and learn from them because he threw his tantrum instead of doing the job. So you guys, in this business, in your business, there's in life, in marriage, in parenting, in anything amazing in this life, we are going to experience frustration. And you have to know how to tolerate that. You have to know how to dig down deep, take that setback, learn from it, and turn it into a win. And it says that character grows out of mindset. It goes on to say, we now know that there is a mindset in which people are enmeshed in the idea of their own talent and specialness. When things go wrong, they lose their focus, their ability, putting everything they want, and in this case, everything the team and the fans so desperately want, in jeopardy, okay? So you have a team, you're building a business, your family, they've got to be your biggest fans in this Plexus thing. I know it because our company is incredible and the potential is there. And when things go wrong, I don't want you guys to lose your focus. I don't want you to put everything that you believe in today in jeopardy because you've lost your focus because you're stuck in a fixed mindset. It says we also know that there's a mindset that helps people cope well with setbacks, points them to good strategies, and leads them to act in their best interest. And that is the growth mindset. On page 95, I underlined, it says, the mark of a champion is the ability to win when things are not quite right, when you're not playing well and your emotions are not the right ones. And goodness gracious, you guys, can we not relate to that? You're in the game. You are in the game. The ball is in your court. And your emotions, you're gonna feel things in this business. Surprise, you're gonna feel defeated, you're gonna feel excited, you're gonna feel like a winner, you're gonna feel like a loser, you're gonna step into the comparison game. I hope not, but we are humans. You're gonna deal with rejection, you're gonna deal with just the struggles of life. You guys, we lost a family member this morning. We woke up to the news that Willie's aunt had passed away. And you know what? I didn't want to do this Zoom. Like, I was like, I just want to not, you know? But God has this. God has this. He has wrapped his arms around our family, And you can do this through mental. I've lost, I mean, in the 6 years that I've been doing this business, we've suffered so much suffering and so much loss. I've lost my father. I mean, we've lost friends. I mean, life is not easy. It looks pretty for the Eichenhorst family on Facebook. I get it. I know that it does. Life is hard for everyone. Everyone has setbacks. But guess what, you guys? I am doing this because I am strong mentally, truly. And you do this through mental toughness. And the book says, and I believe it, that you can learn how to do that. You can't let anything affect your focus. And you can do that through developing yourself and personal development. Did it suck so bad when I lost my dad? Yes, but did I just say life is hard and purpose and this team that I built, I mean, I'm just gonna forget it all? No, I took a second. I spent time with the Lord. I spent time with my family, but I kept going. And I want you to keep going through being pregnant and having a baby and through losing your loved ones and through all the ups and downs that life is gonna throw at you, because this business, this opportunity, these products, you are doing a good thing here. You're doing a good thing and it is worth it. You guys, okay, think about the jewels in Plexus and listen to this quote, okay? And I want you to think about the jewels that you know, anyone. Just think of any jewel. Okay. How about this? None of them thought they were special people born with a right to win. They were people who worked hard, who learned how to keep their focus under pressure, and who stretched beyond their ordinary abilities when they had to. Think about the jewel in your mind. Who is the one that you look at and you're like, that was probably easy for her. She has this, I don't have that. But what is it that you're comparing to? You know, who is the one that you, and then listen to this, because this is true about the person that you have in your mind. None of them thought they were special people, born with the right to win. They were people who worked hard, who learned how to keep their focus under pressure, and who stretched beyond their ordinary abilities when they had to. That's what it takes. I'm not different than you. I'm not more special than you. I might have different talents. I might have different abilities. I might have different strengths than you, but that's fine, because there's a jewel in Plexus. There's someone hitting her goals in this company that don't have my strengths or my talents or my ability. They share yours. Okay, so we cannot compare, you guys. We cannot compare. I truly believe that. Okay, and I want to wrap up by looking at the 3 points that they start talking about on page 98. The first one is it's under what is success. And finding number 1 is those with the growth mindset found success in doing their best and learning and improving. And this is exactly what we find in the champions. And y'all are doing it. You're doing it. You're here. You're reading this book. You're showing up. You're doing the hard things. Number 1, check. You're doing it. And I'm so proud of you guys. Jackie Joyner Kersey says, I derive as much happiness from the process as from the results. I don't mind losing as long as I see improvement or I feel I've done as well as I possibly could. I cannot even begin to tell y'all how many mistakes I've made in this business. I mean, so many. Poor customer care, poor leadership, just bad choices. I mean, there's so many mistakes that I've made. I could list a lot. But the point is, this is a process. I have grown. I am not the same person I was 5.5 years ago when I started this business. And this is a process, you guys. We're here, we're learning, we're growing together. But here's the thing, we get so focused in this business on the end game, on the result. And you think you're a big fat loser because you set your goal for gold and you missed your goal. And you think, well, this isn't for me. Or you're so focused on the end result. But at the end of 2019, I wanted to be an emerald. I saw it. I mean, and we could go back and we could dissect that. Like, did your activity match your goal? I mean, there's so many lessons there. But in the end, like, don't beat yourself up. It's a process. So what is it? What goal have you fallen short on? Where do you need to sharpen your skill set? Where can you learn and grow? And then embrace, don't shame yourself. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel bad. Don't feel like you're a loser. Don't feel like it's never going to happen for you. Say, I'm embracing the process. This is a part of the process, and I'm going to learn and grow. And the end of 2019 is going to be better than the beginning of 2019. And November is going to be better than October. And just put one foot in front of the other and continue to embrace the process. In that section, what is success? It says, for those with fixed mindset, success is about establishing their superiority, pure and simple. Being somebody who is worthier, being that somebody who is worthier than the nobodies. And it says, where's the talk about effort and personal best? There is none. There is none. Some people don't want to rehearse, they just want to perform. Other people want to practice 100 times first. And I'm in the former group. Remember, in that fixed mindset, effort is not a cause for pride. It's something that casts doubt on your talent. So maybe you did step into this business and maybe something was really easy for you. Maybe you have a lot of influence. Maybe at the beginning you kind of soared and you saw some pretty quick success and it felt like things were easier and you did kind of feel like a natural. Well, go back and read that paragraph, you guys, because that's great. That is so good. And you can use that and you can build off of that. But it is so important that you continue to grow and learn. I love, it says that some people don't want to rehearse, they just want to perform. It's not about the end game, you guys. It's about the practicing and the learning and the falling down and the failing forward and getting back up. Okay, what is failure? Finding number 2. It says those with the growth mindset found setbacks motivating. They're informative. They're like a wake-up call. Wow. There have been so many wake-up calls I've had in my business. So look back at where you've had those setbacks and use them to motivate you to be better instead of discourage you to get you to a place where you think, I just want to quit. I don't know if I can do this. No, use it to grow and be better. And then finding number 3, taking charge of success. Finding number 3, people with the growth mindset in sports, same as in the pre-med chemistry, took charge of the process that brings success and that maintain it. You get to take charge. You get to take charge of this process, you guys. You are in control of your life. You are in control of your business, what you give to it, the effort that you put into it, the growth that you have. And at the very bottom of that page, I'm on page 101, if you guys have your books, it says, Woods carried on what his dad started by taking control, and I underlined taking control twice, of all parts of his game. He experimented constantly with what worked and what didn't, but he also had a long-term plan that guided him. I know my game. I know what I want to achieve, and I know how to get there. And I love that, you guys, because so often, if y'all have been in this business with me for 5 minutes, you know we pivot a lot on this team, right? Like, pivot, time to change, time to shift. You know, we'll do something one way for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, and then we gotta pivot and we gotta change. And that's okay. It's because things are changing. The world is changing. Social media is changing. People's attention spans are changing. We've got to be willing to change and learn and experiment along the way, but we have to, the long-term vision has to stay steady, okay? Whatever your long-term goal or your long-term vision is, but the way that you get there is going to change. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna close by, I'm on page 103 at the very top, and it says, in the fixed mindset, you don't take control of your abilities and your motivation. You look for your talent to carry you through. And when it doesn't, well then, what else could you have done? You are not a work in progress. You are a finished product. And finished products have to protect themselves, lament, and blame everything, but take charge. And so I want to challenge you guys. I want to challenge you guys to stay, to continue to be a work in progress. You are not a finished product. You are not a finished product. You still have so much to learn. You still have so much life to live. You still have so much to give. You have so much to give to your family, to your children, to your friends. You have so much to give to your team members. You are not a finished product. I sure as heck, when I'm 50, when I'm 60, when I'm on my deathbed, don't want to be the Melissa that I am today. No way. I want to continue to learn and grow and be the very best version of myself that I can be. And I've got to embrace the failures. I've got to embrace the setbacks. I've got to continue to learn if I want to be. Okay. On the very last page on 107, I underlined character, heart, the mind of a champion. It's what makes great athletes, and it's what comes from the growth mindset when its focus is on self-development, self-motivation, and responsibility. So let's take responsibility for our businesses this month. Let's take responsibility for our businesses and our lives this week, okay? Let's commit to reading chapter 5. We're getting into the heart of the book, you guys. This is mindset and leadership in business is our next chapter. So this is gonna apply directly to us and what we're doing in Plexus and what we are doing here. And you guys are gonna love this next chapter, I guarantee it. And so right now, I wanna hear from you guys. We have a few minutes. Talk to me a little bit about, is there something in the book that you loved? Is there something in the book that you underlined? Is there something like a huge takeaway that you had? I would love to hear from anyone that would like to share, maybe 1 or 2 people. Just unmute yourself and share away.
I'm going to go ahead, Melissa. What I loved is, I forgot the young lady's name. I know you brought her up a bit ago, but I love that she had her asthma, that there was a strong condition that could have stopped her, and it would have if she allowed it, but she struggled through that. And I know, like with many of us on Plexus, we do have, I'm speaking personally for myself and many that I know, we're struggling with sicknesses and illness, and we can let that be our crutch, or we can continue to go on, and something like with the business with ours, luckily we don't have to strive where we're running or walking or doing like athletic stuff, but in here, at least, even like if we feel a little weak, we could still do our work. So she just motivated me even more, like even if you got a headache or something, we could still lay down and do work. That's a great thing about this. She motivated me the most.
Oh, I love that. Thank you, you guys. And I think about Erin Bush. Like, I think she is overcoming some serious autoimmune issues. Like, she did this business. She's done this business with health struggles, not always feeling well, not always feeling her best. And let that inspire you. And thank you that you can work this business sitting down in the nooks and crannies, laying in your bed, yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Who else? Anyone? One more person.
I have something. Can I share?
Yes, please.
Okay. So on page 105, it talks about recognizing the team. And I think if we can, and I do it too, I've done it too, like my team, my whatever, and being so concerned and getting my new team members and whatever, and putting my goals above my team's goals, and not recognizing that, heck, my goals are met because of the team's goals. But I think if we, like, that just resonated with me, like, yeah, if I recognize my team more, then it's not just about me, and I don't have even a right to even have a moment where I want to give up. We should keep going because we brought our friends and family in. So why wouldn't we keep going to help them reach their goals?
Amen.
And Jackie, she's my girl. She's my hero for a long time.
That's awesome. I love that, Sally. I had that underlined too. I love that portion. I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. Y'all can have everything you want in this business, everything, every goal that you want in this business. You can be a diamond and have everything you want by helping others achieve everything that they want in this business. It really is. It's about reaching down and helping other people achieve their goals and their dreams and pouring into others. And then that trickles up to you. And all of a sudden you look up and you're achieving your goals by helping others. And so that is, I'm so glad you pointed that out, because I had that underlined in my book too. What else? I had several other things underlined that I did not mention. We have time for one more, and then we're going to jump off because we're also doing a November kickoff Zoom in 15 minutes. So I hope to see y'all there. Anyone else want to share? Thank you, Sally. Anyone else have another takeaway or something that they love?
I thought of something like, so I've done sports and things as an athlete before. And when I think about what dedication I had to have in order to do a sport and to be athletic, it took a lot of changing diets and exercise and working every single day towards that sport. And I think that's what hit me when talking about all of the sports successes, is what kind of things am I doing for my Plexus business that are like those daily exercises, those daily practices, those daily life habits of changing my diet so I can run faster, work harder, be my best athletic self. And so I think that I had to relate that to my Plexus business.
Awesome. Okay.
Hey, I need to be training every day because I'm now a Plexus athlete, or you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
That's how I related it.
Yes, I love that.
That was my takeaway.
So what are some of the things that we need to be doing daily? Because that's so true. You don't have Michael Jordan. There wasn't a day that passed by that he wasn't shooting that basketball, right? Like every day he's out there shooting the basketball, conditioning, working to be the best at his sport. So what are some things that we need to be doing daily? I think first and foremost is mindset. It's doing what we're doing right now, because it's so hard to do the other things, right? Like the skills, the reaching out, the following up, the posting on social media, the IPA type things, if our mindset isn't right. The leading, all of those things we have to be continuing to learn and grow. So I love that. I thank you for pointing that out. That's why, it's income producing activity. It's like your DMO, daily method of operation, not like one day every 10 days. You work your Plexus business like every day, even if it's just a little bit every day, it's going to help. Awesome, you guys. Okay. Well, thank y'all so much for jumping on with me. I am going to hop off and then hop right back on in about 10 minutes for our November kickoff call. Y'all are like extreme athletes. If y'all stick with me and do our kickoff call, I hope that you will. Love y'all so much. Bye, everyone.